Now the extension is heavy, 390 to Addison Road after a wreck. More delays kick in at Mannheim. Looking at 58 minutes, 390 to downtown. 38 from Mannheim, about 40 minutes to 390. Stevenson, 55 minutes, 355 to the drive, outbound 41. Ryan, 25 minutes, 95 to downtown. I-57, Bishop Ford, both 29 minutes, I-80 to the Verge. Now seeing delays on the northbound Veterans Memorial from 475th to Reagan Tollway. It's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Clouds and sunshine today. Starting off beautiful. 44 for a high temp, 32 overnight. 28 at O'Hare. Your next news at 8, and Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Make sure to check out the Income Store live video stream of today's show right now at 560theanswer.com.
If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Bruce Wolf, Scott the Cow Guy, in for Dan and Amy. Is this Cheap Trick as well? Yeah. See, I only know Surrender and that other song.
This is Hello There.
This is Hello There, thank you. And because we're going to be talking about Rockford in uno momento. Well, coming up, more impeachment stuff. We'll be bashing Professor Carlin, trust me. And apparently Howard Stern interviewed Hillary Clinton, but I know Stern is such a wuss, he probably didn't ask about Juanita Broaddrick.
I don't think he did, no.
Yeah. Not familiar with that. We are pleased to be joined in studio right now by Tamara Gaumond. I pronounced that correctly,
Perfect.
Right? Yes.
Perfect. Thank you.
And she's a Rockford author and architect, and she's pitching Rockford to us, which is just outside of Chicago. There's a place called Illinois, and part of Illinois is Rockford, Illinois, which I was saying before the break that we used to have a place in Galena, not as good as Scott's, with the farm, the 1,000 acres. But we'd stop off in Rockford, on our 11-hour trip from Chicago, because we go on Friday afternoons when it took 3.5 hours to get out of Chicago, and stop off at the Dairy Queen. Is it exit 11 off of 20 or 111? I can't remember.
11th Street.
Yeah, 11th
what
Street.
You're thinking of on the
There
south
you go.
side of town.
And that was
yes.
my test. I just wanted to make sure you were
That I'm
an
legit.
actual Rockfordian. So tell us, what is the great attraction to Rockford?
Well, I lived in the city a long time and have moved back as an adult. And over time I've come to appreciate, along with a lot of our city, the sort of we've had sort of bad reputation, a little misunderstood, and there is a lot of really exciting, good stuff going on in Rockford, downtown, a lot of fun amenities. It makes a great, affordable, easily accessible weekend or day trip. In writing the 100 Things to Do, their book, it was fun to just revisit stuff that I knew and get kind of reintroduced to how good the really good stuff is, and discover a whole bunch of new stuff. And there's a whole, we're in sort of a renaissance. There's a group called Transform Rockford that started about 5 years ago, maybe 7, working to make Rockford a top 25 city by 2025 by working in a community grassroots effort. There is a lot going on downtown. We've got a really hip downtown, a lot of activities, we've got a big music scene, a lot of arts and culture, and it's really a pretty interesting, fun, exciting place to live and makes a good getaway.
If there is one spot that you should hit in Rockford, would it be to see the dinosaur named Jane, or where would you go?
I would, I would start with 2. If you bring in your kids, or if you like paleontology and dinosaurs, Jane is actually a very good stop. Chicago has Sue, right, which is the full Tyrannosaurus Rex. That's a big deal. But Jane is the only juvenile Tyrannosaurus Rex, and she is complete. And she was discovered, I think it was in North Dakota.
It's like Baby Yoda.
Yeah. Well, and because they didn't know what she was at first because they hadn't seen a juvenile, so they didn't even know what kind of dinosaur she was.
The liberals are upset you separated mother from child.
Oh, I know. Right. But she's considered one of the top 10 dinosaur finds in the last 100 years, and is a pretty spectacular thing to visit. Number 2, though, I would tell anyone first time visiting Rockford to go to Anderson Japanese Gardens. It's a beautiful, huge, authentic Japanese gardens. It's got waterfalls. It's got authentic Japanese architecture, and it's often ranked as one of the top 10 Japanese gardens in the country.
Very nice. Very nice.
So it's lovely.
Scott, are you enticed?
No, I mean, I'm partial to the area,
I
obviously.
mean, you go to Galena all the time,
I
so
go-
why
yeah.
don't you stop off in Rockford?
Well, I got to stop off and look at the Japanese gardens. That sounds like a great idea. But did you also know that the venerable Jean Lamont was born in Rockford?
Do you know who Jean Lamont was?
No. No.
He was the manager of the White Sox.
Oh,
Well,
yes, I do know that.
That's
Yes.
a good connection. isn't it?
There's a fair amount of kind of local or current celebrities from there, too.
Well, you got-
Danica Patrick came from there.
Oh, I didn't realize Danica
Yes.
Patrick was from Rockford.
Yeah, and Dean Lowry of the Green Bay Packers. His
Okay.
parents are actually my neighbors.
Really?
And
Are you a
and-
Packer fan?
No.
There you go.
I'm not.
There you go.
But don't tell them that.
I won't. I won't.
Only if we're talking about Dean Lowry.
Yeah.
And Jody Benson, who is better known as the Little Mermaid, is from Rockford.
There we go.
Aiden Quinn is from Rockford. And one
The
of
list goes on and
Destiny's
on.
Child is from Rockford. But of course, our favorite first sons are Cheap Trick,
Yeah.
who all still live there, and you see them around town, and all their kids are in bands. And another enticing thing in Rockford is there is a really huge music scene. A lot of live music, a lot of venues showing that live music, and
Does Cheap
It's a
Trick,
lot of fun.
do they just like hang out in their garage and play?
no, they still go
They're still
on
in the
tour.
community. Yeah, I know that.
Bonnie Carlos, who is the drummer, the original drummer, he has a new band that plays at Mary's Place once a month. So for a $5 cover charge, you can see a Rock and Roll Hall of Famer play in a Rockford dive. It's a lot of fun.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's great.
Now will you go to Rockford? Now will you
No,
stop?
I will
on-
stop. when I
Scott
go
the
through
cow
Rock-
guy?
Well, the older I get, I need to make more pit stops on the
There
way
you go.
to
Rockford
on
is
way to
that's the
Galena.
way to sell Rockford.
Right.
It's the
It's-
pit
it's
stop
a
on the
great-
way to
it's-
Galena.
yeah,
Thanks,
after
Scott.
too many
That's not what we
coffees.
were looking
No.
for. We were looking for that you could run into the Cheap Trick drummer in his garage.
Well, on the
For $5.
on the outskirts, they've just got that massive Fiat Chrysler plant in Bellevue,
Right,
Belvedere.
Belvedere.
Yeah. Oh my word, it's the biggest building I've ever seen in my entire life. It's just that must employ a lot of people from Rockford, right?
I can't answer that. I don't know. I think a lot of the Belvedere people live in Belvedere, but I don't know.
All right. Well, so
I
what's
would
the-
assume so. Collins Aerospace, which used to be Sunstrand, is one of Rockford's very large
Okay, and that
employers.
was yeah.
The aerospace
Now I'm
engineers.
thinking of actually trying to get back into the TV business.
Okay.
Even though I'm way too old and there's no money
I
in
think
it.
if you darken
But-
the hair, I think it would you'd be in.
Here's my strong suit. Now you're telling me
Just
that I got to
darken
darken
it a
it.
little. Yeah, and just all
No,
that-
I'm not
darken it a
going
little
that
bit.
route.
Then no way.
Let me ask you.
Artificial intelligence.
There is they made De Niro and Pacino look younger, right? In The Irishman.
Yeah.
You know? But they still sound old, and they fight old. So they haven't quite perfected it. But isn't there like a TV station in
There's
Rockford?
3 TV stations.
Yeah. Do you think I got a shot at being like a?
Possibly.
Do you have to
Give
do
them a
everything
call.
like be the weatherman and the
No,
traffic reporter
no,
and the
they're
news anchor?
fairly sizable stations.
Okay.
They have anchors and morning shows and
Sure.
meteorologists and sales staff and
I know. I
people
know.
out in the field doing interviews.
I'm just
so-
having a little
I-
fun.
I know.
I don't want you to beat me up.
No, you're fine.
So what else could we say? There's state
Here-
parks and things like
there's,
that.
There's a ton of state parks. Well, there's Rock Cut State Park, which is, and I hate to keep throwing out facts, but I had to do that for the book.
No.
But, Rock Cut is the second largest state park in the state.
Wow.
So, and it's very nice. It's got a big
What's
lake.
the
and
largest
it's-
one?
well, I think it's down south somewhere.
Not Starved Rock.
Not
Wasn't it?
Starved Rock. No,
No,
down
okay.
by Carbondale.
Okay.
Tons of trails, hiking, biking, kayaking, whatever. And we have a lot of forest preserves that tend to follow the Kishwaukee River. So lots of trails and things in that. So there's a lot of outdoor activities. We have a BMX area that I am not really a BMX thing, but I understand it's a big deal to people in the BMX world. So there's a lot of recreational. We have the Ice Hogs, who are
Are they still affiliated with the Blackhawks?
they are the top affiliate. So
Okay.
we get a lot of talent through the Ice Hogs that go back
I'm surprised
and forth.
Scott didn't know that because he knew
Yeah.
about Jean Lamont.
Well, and the hog reference to I should have gotten that.
Yeah.
Scott, Mr. Self-Deprecation. Yes, especially if it has to do with barnyard animals.
Exactly.
There you
right.
go.
Right.
My favorite thing when I started the book that I was excited about because of what my friends and I enjoy doing is I've got over 50 restaurants in here, none of which are a chain. All unique.
Really?
A lot of.
If you wanted a chain, though, there is a DQ. that we
There's
can
everything.
stop.
Yeah, you've got everything that you could want. But we have a lot of kind of foodie, downtown, funky places. We've got brew pubs. We got iconic joints.
If I happen to be the chief of police and I wanted a real strong drink in Rockford, where would you go for a real strong drink in Rockford?
Like a cocktail drink or a beer drink?
3 rums and cokes.
Yeah,
say, over
I
3
would
hours.
go. Well, on the east side, I would go to Alchemy's, which is right off of the highway.
Alchemy?
But if you're downtown, I would probably go to Abreu or Social.
All right.
But if you want a good beer, I'd go to Prairie Street Brewing.
I've heard of that. I have heard of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Carlisle. So.
Okay.
All right, we seem to know your places. You're,
well, there's not much to do in Rockford. I have to go out a lot. No, I'm joking. It's great. There's a ton of stuff.
We'll edit that part out of the interview when it airs. There's not a lot to do in Rockford, says the spokesbeing for Rockford.
There's a lot of festivals
and don't ask
cool
for the
things.
101st thing. That's all.
Hey, look, I can't name you 10 places in Chicago that I'd want to go to. It sounds like a lot of fun places. So what's the population of Rockford these days?
The city proper, I understand, is only about 150, but the metropolitan area is about 350,000.
Okay, that's nice.
So it's
And
decent
what
size.
size city is it in the state of Illinois again?
Well, last I read, it's considered number 3, but Naperville is now considered number 2. So if you consider Naperville just an extension of Chicago, then I would call Rockford number 2.
Naperville is a suburb.
Yeah, so let's call it number 2.
No
and don't offend
disparaging.
anyone in Naperville.
Yeah, exactly right. No disparaging Naperville, please.
But we used to go back and forth with Peoria for number 2, and I'm not sure what happened there. But, so now we're competing with suburban areas.
It sounds, and you should not have an inferiority complex about, Rockford vis-a-vis Chicago. I mean, it sounds to me ideal.
It is. It's a great place, I think, to live. There's a lot of fun stuff that you don't have to mortgage your house to park to go to and pay for tickets for.
How much is parking downtown?
Free, depending on where you go.
Free.
Yeah, or a couple bucks.
So
in
it's
a
not
garage
like $47
or
an hour, like I paid downtown.
Yeah, the
in
symphony
Thompson
might
Center.
charge you $5 in the garage
They
across
have
the
an
street.
airport too.
And
I
the
think
airport, we have a sizable airport, and actually Chicago's Tough Mudder contest is held at our airport every year.
Okay.
So.
And do you have jets that fly in there?
They not.
I'm all right,
well,
I'm
yeah, we
kidding.
do have passenger jets because
Sure.
it is the Chicago Rockford International Airport now. It used
There
to
we
be the
go.
Rockford, but the international is flights usually to vacation areas, Mexico and such. But we do have one long runway because of UPS and National Guard, so we can land big planes.
It's interesting. I think flying out of O'Hare, I have actually parked in Rockford. Flying out of O'Hare recently. Yes.
Well, and Rockford's
it's parking lot ZZZ.
Yeah.
I
well, and
think,
if you can, it's great because it used to be free. I don't know if they charge a couple dollars now.
All right. Do you think you have sufficiently sold Rockford
I don't know.
here? Do you need any more time to sell Rockford?
Do you know?
But I welcome everyone to. You might find yourself there if your kids are in a sports tournament and think there's nothing to do, and there's a lot to do.
Is there a website or somewhere we can get your book or whatever?
Yes, well, it's on Amazon.
Okay.
And it's on
What's it called again?
BarnesandNoble.com. 100 Things to Do in Rockford Before You Die.
Okay. What should you do in Rockford after you die? I'm just wondering.
No idea.
Yes. Should I be buried in Rockford? I think I'm going to be buried in Rockford.
There's some lovely
we can
cemeteries.
arrange that. We can arrange that.
I,
believe me.
I thought you were going to bury me beneath, the cow dung on your farm. Yes.
Also, I'm on Facebook at 100 Things Rockford. So
Well, thank you so much,
thanks for having me.
Tamara Gaumond.
Yep.
Excellent.
Thank you
Perfect.
so much for joining us here.
Thank you.
Go to Rockford. Don't leave us. We'll be back after these words. Bruce Wolf and Scott the Cow Guy on AM 560 The Answer. In for Dan and Amy.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
My name is David Hochberg. Meet Joyce, recently divorced and credit challenged because her ex-husband's inability to pay bills on time. Joyce contacted Team Hochberg for a mortgage using only the court-awarded child support and alimony because she worked side jobs for cash and didn't have any verifiable income. FHA allows borrowers to use alimony and child support as income as long as it's been received for at least 3 months and will continue for at least 3 years after the